to Manifest on Purpose. My name is Kimberly Williams. I am a mindset consultant specializing in manifestation. I help you align your mindset with the things that you desire in your life to help you manifest in your life. So what are you waiting for? Come on, let's go. Let's manifest on purpose. Hello. How's it going out there? I'm Kimberly Williams. I'm your host of Manifest on Purpose. Thank you for taking the time out to come and visit with me today. I'm so grateful. If you always are here, welcome back. If you're new, welcome. Stay around, share the show, enjoy the show. I hope all of your weekends have been great. I'm in Washington, D.C., and it has been a beautiful spring weekend. We've been getting some sunshine, and it's a great way to welcome in spring. So happy spring, everyone. Happy new week to you. Happy Monday. Today I want to talk about changing your perspective. It's very important because when you change your perspective or your perception, you change your mind. Let's get started. First, I want you to do a little exercise. If you're not driving, if you're able to take a moment to just pause with me, I want you to close your eyes and think back over your life for a moment. Is there any moment or experience in your life that you regret? I want to encourage you today not to regret. Because when we have regrets, not only do we take away the misfortune or the things that we don't like about those regretful moments, we take away the lessons or any positive manifestation that comes through at that moment. It's like a chain reaction. Everything affects everything. We're all connected. We walk around affecting the lives of others every day. Sometimes you don't even know it. That's why it's important to leave a good impression on people. Even if you're not really feeling it, show up, show your best. I remember when I was growing up, I always heard people say, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. Sometimes all you need is just a smile to make someone's day, a compliment to let them know that somebody cares, somebody's watching them, somebody's thinking about them. It's important because your thoughts, your actions, your interactions, and most importantly, your perception change, influence, it creates, it builds, and it also destroys. So it goes either way. You can discourage a person as well as encourage them or build them up. So it's important that we pay attention to how we speak to people. We pay attention to our energy when we're around people. And we pay attention to what we say to others, because in each moment we're creating. If we don't want to create something for us, then don't create it for someone else. And it's also true as it relates to us. If we are around people that are negative all the time, if we're around those people that are always bringing that negative energy and attention towards us, then it may affect us in a way that we don't like, or a way that makes things hard for us if we allow it. And I want you to remember during those times, because we are not perfect as people. Nobody's perfect. I want you to first understand that. Then when you get that down, I want you to know that it's not what we go through. It's not how people treat you. It's how you go through it. It's how you respond to things. Start responding to things instead of react. I also want you to know that The effects of what you go through is determined by your perception of the experience. What is perspective? What is perception? Your perception is how you view the world and everything in and around it. Your perception is another thing that forms in your mindset. For the purpose of this message, I'm going to look at two basic perceptions: optimism and pessimism. I use these two because I know a lot of people probably have heard of these before. If your perception is optimistic, then you usually look at the positive in everything. In every situation, you're looking for something positive about that situation. Some people even call this looking at the glass as half full. On the other hand, to be pessimistic is just the opposite of that. Everything that happens in that person's experience is always perceived to be a negative event. Some people may call this the glass is being half empty. Perception is important because we create through our thoughts, our actions, and our emotions. The way you perceive things affect those thoughts, actions, and emotions. And you are creating similar experiences to match that. So it's important to pay attention and to become aware of how we perceive things. Example, I always look at standing in the grocery store or being in traffic. Let's just say standing in the grocery store first, especially here. If you've ever been to DC shopping, you probably have recognized that we have long lines in the store. We have to wait a long time. Sometimes the cashiers may get a little bit irritable because it's a hard job to deal with so many different people. Sometimes they may react in a way that may not seem pleasant to you. I always look at those people, and instead of getting angry, instead of reacting to it or responding to it, what I do is I just think about what that person could have gone through before they came to work, or what they could have gone through throughout their shift to have them in an ill mood. They may need a break. You don't know what's going on in somebody's life. So every time someone may seem to be upset with you, may seem snappy or angry, it doesn't mean that it's personal. It may be something that they're going through. That's how you switch the perception of it. That's how you switch that perception right away. And the other example, being in traffic. My grandfather always used to say that the shortest route is not always the quickest. What does that mean? These days, everybody is in a hurry to get to where they're going. Actually, people say that when you speed, you really don't get to where you're going much faster at all. You don't get there much faster than normal people do. But some people still tend to speed, and sometimes we get caught up in traffic. That's another thing that DC has. DC has a lot of traffic. If you've been to DC, you know it. We got a lot of traffic, and that was one of my first lessons coming here. I had to understand how to be patient during traffic. And it's not always easy, especially when you're trying to make it to work. Someone was upset about how slow the traffic was moving one day. And I said to them, you don't know what the purpose of this is. Maybe the reason why traffic is slow is because you're being saved from an accident further up the road. Sometimes you have to look for something better than what you first initially thought about a situation. That's changing the perspective. Instead of complaining about what's going on, find a way to understand it. When you find a way to understand it, you'll begin to accept it. And the only way that you're going to be able to understand it is find something reasonable, find something positive to help you shed a different light on the subject. And remember, the more you complain and focus on how long it's taking you to get to where you are, the longer it will take. So there's a few steps in this that I want to tell you how you can change your perspective. Step number 1 is self-work. I talk about this all the time. Self-work. It's important to work on ourselves. All things start with you and the relationship you have with yourself. How you feel about others is a reflection of what you feel about yourself. Take a moment to chew on that, because that's true. We may be angry at another person, but at the same time, the reason that we're angry with that person is maybe they struck a nerve because there's something there that's a reflection of you. There's something there that you're reflecting. So whatever you feel like you have a problem with someone, go inside first and see what the problem is with you. In doing this self-work that we're talking about, it's necessary for you to take the time to ask yourself, what things do you tend to view negatively? Think about all the things that you see in a negative manner. If it's a person, ask yourself, what things about this person tends to make me think negatively? Once you find the answer, you begin to work on those things within yourself. That's where the answers lie. You change others by changing yourself. The more you focus on you, the less you will focus on others. On to step 2. Know that we are all here for a purpose. I personally believe in the concept that we are all here to experience life, to learn, to teach, and to elevate. I then feel that we have the choice, or sometimes most come back to learn new things or things we didn't learn before. In order to learn, you must have a teacher. Although there are many ways to learn, we learn a lot from others. Everybody you deal with serves a purpose in your life. Understand that a person that may challenge you may be there to teach you something to change your life. This is so true. Understand that when you see these challenges coming, just as we talked about before, it's a reflection. What is it about me that I need to work on? What is this situation trying to teach me through this person? When we do this, we become aware that it's not the person. It's not the person at all. It's the lesson that you're being taught. That's a way to look at it in a positive manner. When we deal with people, especially the people that gives us the most challenges, those are the people that we probably need to be studying. Those are the people that we need to be getting close to, because they're trying to show you something and they may not even know it. Probably, more than likely, they don't even know it, but they're trying to show you something that you need to learn. It may be a lesson that you're waiting on. It may be what's going to push you forward to the next manifestation. So start looking at everybody, no matter how they treat you. Start looking at everybody through the eyes of spirit. That's when you incorporate that true love and pay attention to the areas in your life that are being challenged. And challenged is a word that I really don't want to use, because these so-called challenges are the things that make us grow. So there are opportunities for growth. This goes right into step number 3. Stop judging people or things. I was always taught if you can't say anything good about something, don't say anything at all. We're going to go back to that because that was a hard lesson for me. There are so many ways to pass judgment. You may even find yourself judging yourself or the circumstances that you may encounter. Self-sabotage. It's not just other people that judge us. Sometimes we're the ones that are judging ourselves. The technique that I use in order to stop judging others is to first stop judging myself. It's so strange how we get caught up in so many things, the statistics of the matter. Society says that you have to be working this type of job, you have to have this weight, or you have to have these things to be considered elite or to be considered a part of the whole. But really, that's not true. And you have to realize that for yourself. Some of you, and you know who you are too hard on yourselves. Trying to keep up with what other people say you should be doing or how others say you should be doing it. No, you set your own standards and don't feel bad because of whatever you do. Just know that every decision that you make is a conscious decision that was the decision you made, and stick with that. Later, if you change, that's up to you, but you should not feel bad or beat yourself up because you're not where others people think that you should be at. You have to give yourself grace. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Give yourself grace. Be merciful towards yourself. Once you do this, then you can start being that way to other people, because when you do this, you become more and more aware of the times that you are judging yourself. And when you become aware of you judging yourself, you'll become more and more aware of you judging others. So take that opportunity to realize that you should be who you are, and you should also allow others to be who they are. And that's a hard pill to swallow. Step number 4. This is the final step, guys. Once you recognize that your view of the world is not one that is helping you grow, it's time to change it. You can change it by using mindset techniques that you have learned here. There's plenty of it. Go over the different episodes and just go through some of those techniques to help you. You can affirm that things are better than they appear. When you see something that you don't initially like, find something good about it. Find something good about the situation. Reframe your perspective by looking for the good in every situation. Spend more time in meditation. Meditation really, really helps. Practice being aware of when you are not using your best perspective. You know that you're not looking at things in a good way. If you hang around individuals that are negative, if there is someone in your midst that is always looking at the world like the world is just so hard on them and everything is just so rough, like I talked about probably in my very first episode, birds of a feather flock together. By you hearing that repeatedly and being around that energy for a long period of time, then that is going to become true for you. And just like everything else, your perception is your creation. Your perspective becomes your reality. The best perspective to look at things is not that it's good or bad or right or wrong. The best way to look at things is it just is. Why do we have to have an explanation for things? Why do we have to define everything? It just is. It's not right. It's not wrong. It's not good. It's not bad. It just is. And I want to leave you with a quote from Dr. Wayne Dyer. Of course, you all know he's one of my favorites. The quote is as follows: if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at will change. Your situation can be so much better than what you really think it is. It's how you look at it. We all are powerful in that way. Powerful in the way that everything we look at is our creation. Nobody's going to see the things that we see just how we see it. So your perspective or your perception is something that's your own. It's something that's unique to you. You have the right to change it. You can change it at any moment in your life. Just change the way you think. Change your mind. When something is terrible, if something is negative, look at the good in it. Find the sunshine in it. The sun is there somewhere. You may not be able to see it at the moment, but when you begin to speak it into existence, it has no choice but to show up for you. So I'm asking you this week, practice changing your perspective. Change the way you look at things. That boss that just seems angry all the time, instead of looking at it like that boss just doesn't like us, try looking at it as he may need a vacation. He may be overworked and underpaid. I can understand. When you start to sympathize and empathize with people, when you start to look at people from the same view that you look at yourself, you can change your perspective. When you begin to look in the world like it's something to help you grow, like it's so beneficial to you, you begin to grow. So change the way you look at things, guys. I hope you have a wonderful week. Take some time out to relax at this time, to prepare for meditation. If you're driving, please, please, please save this meditation for later. I want you to get really relaxed, and I want you to focus in this week's meditation on changing your perspective. Go deep within, find those negative things that you want to clear out, and change those things within yourself. Until next time, guys, happy manifesting and manifest on purpose.